Hi, my name is Susie with Kirkwood Knittery, and we're located just east of Limburg on Manchester Road. The shop is 3 years old. We're in our 4th year, and we've been in this location the whole time. Brooke and I met when she taught me how to do mitered squares in a jacket class at a shop that's no longer around, and several years later we started talking about opening our own shop, and here we are. It's been great.
It has.
We get along great. It's wonderful.
There's always a crowd at the table, usually, and lots of fun.
And people are always welcome to come and sit with us, and if they can come in and get a little help if they need it. We do lessons all the time, lots of classes, so pretty active industry here. This project came, I'm not exactly sure where I saw it first, but or where I heard about it first, but I went on Ravelry, which is this sort of Facebook for knitters kind of website that a lot of knitters are on, and I went on Ravelry and looked it up. It's called the Baby Sock Blanket, and a woman in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, her name is Shelley Kang, started this by just with her own leftover sock yarn, making little mitered squares and attaching them one after the other using different yarns. And it grew into a full-size blanket. She got donations she has a blog called The Heathen Housewife, and she got donations. People were donating yarn to her, and so she just kept adding to her blanket, and it became this full-size blanket. And I absolutely loved the way it looked. Even though the yarns aren't the same yarn, they're all sock yarns, they're all sock weight, but even though they aren't the same colorways or anything like that, this whole blanket has such great energy that there's something you can do called saving it, where you can heart it and you tell the person who designed it that you really like it a lot. So I did that months ago. And then about 2 months ago, a customer came in here and she was making her own blanket just like that. And I got to see it in real life and I fell in love with it. We talk a lot at our store about the community of knitting, having people participate in a joint project, whether it's Ravelympics or, going to Stitch and Pitch or doing something that we do as a community. This is an opportunity to knit a project as a community by everybody coming to our store and knitting a square or 2 or 10, contributing yarn, participating in it in one way or the other, and we will ultimately build a blanket that will be donated to the Learning Disabilities Association of St. Louis, and they will auction it off at their October 2nd auction. So we're really excited to be participating in this and starting it, and can't wait to get started. The yarns that are used in this are sock weight yarns, and so they use we're going to be using a size 2 needle, and you can see that they don't have to look the same. They're all very different from each other. Scraps work. It takes about 30 yards to make one of the squares. And we just have a mishmash of yarns, and we're putting it all together into a mishmash of little squares. And
so when you put it all together, it's like a quilt with many colors.
Right.
The eye, beautiful.
The eye sort of merges.
Yeah.
You used to tell me that all the time. The eye will blend it all together, and in fact, it does. And the mitered squares are just so much fun to do. We're going to have 4 pieces to the blanket so that 4 different people can work on it at one time, and then they can be sitting simultaneously doing it. So by doing it in 4 pieces, at the end of the day, we'll have 4 matching pieces that will meld together towards October when it's time for their auction. We're hoping for at least a baby blanket, which would be 36 by 36, but ideally, if we have a lot of community participation, then we could have a full-size blanket. Twin size, even king size would be amazing. Yeah. And the bigger the blanket, I'm sure the more money could be raised by the Learning Disabilities Association when they auction it off in October. There's absolutely no charge to come in. If you have sock yarn and you want to donate the sock yarn to the project, you can knit on your own sock yarn or borrow some of ours. If you would like to just come in and knit and learn how to do a mitered square, that would be great. We're going to have a link to Channel 2 St. Louis Moms to teach you how to do the mitered squares, and you can come in if you need a little bit of help. We'll all be here to help you through it, and we would love to have you come and join us.